Welcome to WRTR Real Talk Radio. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests.
And do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations or institutions. This podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered legal, financial, or professional advice.
While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or availability with respect to the podcast or the information, products, services, or related graphics contained in the podcast.
Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk. In no event will we be liable for any loss or damage, including, without limitation, indirect or consequential loss or damage, or any loss or damage whatsoever arising from loss of data or profits arising out of or in connection with the use of this podcast.
By listening to WRTR Real Talk Radio, you acknowledge that you understand this disclaimer and agree to its terms. Enjoy the show.
Barack Obama made it out the hood, made it to the White House, showed me that I could. He got swag, made it look good. Tell me that I can't, I wish you would.
What we got?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. Let me get the facts.
He was the first U.S. African-American president.
Okay. What number was he?
45!
24, right? When he served?
2009 to 2017.
Nice. Behind every great man is an even greater woman, right?
And that's on Sasha, Malia, and Michelle Obama. Period, honey.
Okay. Let me get 2 claps and a oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
Yeah. Clap it up. Clap it up.
WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs. Original shows. Music news. The hottest DJs from around the world.
As long as I'm black, I am historic. I don't need a month, bitch. I exist a lifetime.
Period.
That's the energy this week. And we made it through another one here together, y'all, on WRTR Real Talk Radio, the podcast. We do this now. My name is Marcus Smoot.
My name is Miss Liv Bravado. Hey, y'all.
You are looking gorgeous today.
Thank you.
I mean, you look gorgeous every day, but like you look like you. This is from the show last night.
Yeah, because I got in at like 1:30, 1:45. A bitch ain't had time to, wash makeup off and shit. My head hit that pillow and I was out like a light.
I know that's right.
So
How'd it go?
it went good. I mean, we had to go without a bass player because the husband has the flu. So I've been dipping and dodging, trying to keep away from his ass.
The flu, or like normal flu, or like COVID flu?
Patient first. I'm not sure, but we both were sick like maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. Okay. And he went to patient first the day before yesterday. And they said this has been going on. People have been getting it and then feeling like they're good and then re-getting it. But the second time around is like worse than the first time.
Yep, we're gonna delve into that bullshit on the second half because I got something to say about these germs. But yeah, wow, okay,
Yeah.
Okay. On that wonderful note, how's your mood?
And
what is that face about? What is happening?
Cause it sounded like somebody was doing something wild outside. I don't know. I'm sitting by the window.
Like wild, like ooh, kind of wild.
Trying to break into somebody's home.
Wild. Ghetto wild, my bad.
Ghetto wild west over here.
I love it.
My mood is chill. Because I feel like I've caught up on everything that I had to do this week. Working on a group project this month, and everybody has been pulling their own weight, which is awesome. So,
break from the norm, or is it
kind of sort of? Yeah, because I tend to like put in too much input, and people feel real laxed about it sometimes, and so want to ride off on people's coattails and shit. But I'm like, hey, no. Everybody needs to pull their own weight, and I got a good group, so we're here. We're getting it done. And yesterday had the show. It went great. People came out. I didn't know what was going to happen as far as a crowd situation was because it had just snowed. Everybody was worried about that. But people came out and we got we had good feedback, and we'll be right back there again next Friday in Woodbridge.
I know that's right. Work. My week it's been cool. I mean, it's the oddest thing. I see so much bullshit happening around us, and I'm still just unbothered. I'm just like, okay, here we sit. It's something to watch, something to behold. Downfall of a lot of good things, downfall of a lot of bad things. A lot to unpack, but I was happy to make you happy at least earlier when I texted you. I forgot to tell you because this happened like a few days ago that TikTok just showed back up in the App Store.
When I tell you I was going through it, my phone is a bitch, okay? A cold stone bitch. Because I woke up and that motherfucker said, hey, we're going to delete that app today. And I was like, why? Wow. I bought enough storage. Like, what are you doing? Like, my phone has a mind of its own sometimes. Why would that be the app? So I was mad because I had ordered some stuff for my daughter. And I need to check on that stuff because the people that I ordered it from don't even live over here, child. And she's obsessed with everything Hello Kitty. So, you know, I had to get her like a whole bunch of stuff. And I need to check on my shit because what you're not going to do is take my money. And
right? No, I mean, the article popped up. I mean, Apple and Google have made TikTok. This is according to NBC News. Apple and Google have made TikTok available on their U.S. app stores again. They said Thursday evening. TikTok, which is owned by the Chinese technology company ByteDance, appeared from both stores in the United States on January 18th. Hours before a ban and the social media app was set to go into effect. So I don't know. It popped back up, and it's much like everything else going on right now where we don't really get an explanation, but just kind of go with it. I guess.
Well, this time I'm going to go with it because I needed my shit. I actually did need my shit. And I don't order from like apps often, but you know, when you got kids and they be wanting stuff, you know, sometimes you cave in.
Now I will say this though. Okay. So like since I've been scrolling through the app, I've noticed a lot of different things. The first being like I'll get news, but it'll be like news from years ago. Wow. And you know me, I don't just read shit and just go with it. I'll actually look up the story. Like TikTok will tell me about something, and then that will force me to go onto the Googles and onto the search engines and find out about it. Yeah. So with that being said, it's been like a lot of stories because I started to pull one for news to make you nauseous. It was about this lady that was upset that her doctor and her surgeon were filming a music video during the bitch's actual surgery.
Excuse me?
Yes. They were filming surgery and then like had pieces of her flesh up there, like, you know, and dancing to it. And I was like, oh, I'm nauseated. So naturally, I went to go pull the information for the story. This story is from back in 2018, which I probably told y'all about in 2018. I don't know. The show's old. But it's shit like that I keep seeing in my feed. It's like old information.
Regurgitated information,
yeah. So there's something different about it. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but it's something different. And I don't like it. It seems nefarious, but it is what it is. All right. When I grow up. Ready? Now, listen, I took a shot in the black this week because so many people are inspiring to me. Like this week alone, like the blackness is showing and it's being proven by those that continue to shine in these strange ass times. I'll explain that one later, y'all. But when I grow up, I want to be like Representative Ayanna Pressley. because
Okay.
this woman is out there making history and shaking things up like it's nobody's business. Now, recently, she reintroduced a monumental reparations bill alongside her colleague Cory Booker during Black History Month. Now, this bill aims to address the historical injustices faced by Black Americans, and it's a big step towards acknowledging the system inequalities that have persisted for too long. Now, Presley is not just about talking the talk, she's about walking the walk, pushing for actual change. What does this mean for us as Black people? This isn't like just a bill. This is like reclaiming dignity. It's reclaiming justice that has been denied to us for generations. It's like, I'm trying not to give a colored reference, but like, it's like when you snag that last piece of fried chicken at a cookout, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or like some bacon, you know what I'm saying? It's a win for everybody. So by addressing reparations, Presley and her team are standing up for economic justice, helping to close the wealth gap. That's what it means for us, and reminding us that history deserves recognition and restitution. So yeah, toast for her. Black fist in the air. Presley, I've always been about reparations. So sis, keep fighting the big fight, sis, and we'll handle it on this end. We love you. And we see you.
That. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So
What you got?
mine is another kid. Why I'm picking all these kids, I don't know, but that's what keeps popping on my timeline.
Kids are
These
winning.
Kids are
The
really,
kids are
yeah.
really, they're showing me the shit that
There's no age
the
limit to
shit that my
greatness
people.
at all.
Yeah, but see, why is it so lacking from the older crowd? We supposed to be teaching them. Huh.
But
Go ahead.
I am going with 13-year-old viral star Noah DeBarso.
Okay.
This little smart boy who was on Scripps News, and he was speaking with Holly, one of the people, you know, with his recent conversation with her, he was talking about the different policies that Trump has and discussing politics in depth.
Oh, I know. I've seen him on. I've seen the. Okay, I've seen the clips
when
on
I
TikTok.
tell you, he read them people for filth.
Yes.
It was chef's kiss. And I'm really inspired by him because to be so young and into politics and so knowledgeable is awesome to me, because when I was 13, I was not into any of that shit. Like, I'm grown now and I'm still like, I don't really like politics, but I know that I need to know certain things. And for him to be so intelligent and knowledgeable really speaks volumes. And congratulations to his parents for instilling that into him, and to like encourage him to like look into certain things and to research things, because this is what we be telling y'all grown people every single week.
Right.
Do your own research. And here we have a 13-year-old little boy
that can put this together so effortlessly.
Together like it's nobody's business.
Yep.
He was talking about how he supported Kamala Harris's campaign. He offered his honest opinion about Donald Trump, and he had a lot to say. He basically was like, that man don't know what he's doing. Right. He's setting us back to the 1940s, which he is. You know what I'm saying? And
he's trying to set us back further than that. But I got you.
He was like, this is exactly what Harris meant by we're not going back, and here we sit. We're actually going back. This is not anything that's making America great again. We're getting set back by his policies. I just felt like that's awesome. Like, him and his classmates are even having conversations about it. That to me speaks volumes, because like I said, when I was 13, we was talking about who the rappers was. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about certain trends that was going on. We weren't having these like intelligent conversations.
And see, for me, it was the complete polar opposite, because I was that kid that was the nerd, and I was hanging around all the brains, and we were having these types of conversations. So it's very, like, it's inspiring to see this kind of thing play out in real life, and for him to be elevated on such a stage. Yep. Because I knew that I could run circles around certain adult conversations when I was younger. Like, it's why I didn't like going to class, because I would sit there, especially in history class, because you sit there and regurgitate the same information each and every year. It does not change. And at the point that I know something, I know it. I'm good. Leave me alone. You're testing me on just shit that you then want to suppress, and the only real time we get to learn Black people's part in it was in the month of February.
Yep. And people still got a problem with that. We'll get into that later, but I saw some videos that pissed me off a little bit this week. I ain't gonna say a little bit, a lot of it. Why are people still on that? They don't believe in Black history, and they feel like threatened by it, or appalled by it, and all of this other stuff. Like, I saw a whole bunch of stuff.
Sounds like a wonderful question for the Wi-Fi, so later on. Keep that in mind.
We'll get into it.
Yep, but that will be after If It Were Lyric, and that is following this brief little break. We'll be right back.
I finally realized why fundamentalist Christian groups hate trans people. I don't know why it took me this long. I kept hearing the argument about, like, not changing the way God made you. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense, because you don't see any of these people picketing outside plastic surgery centers. So what the fuck is their beef with trans people? Duh. It's because trans people are living, breathing, walking examples that the dichotomy that fundamentalist Christian groups use to maintain all their power and control is flawed. It's made up. It's fiction. So much of their storyline is built around this dichotomy of man and woman, male and female, and man having this ordainment directly from God to be the protector and the one in control, and the female having to be the subservient one. Dominance and subservience, male and female. But that only works if there's only male and female. Non-binary people and trans people, they fuck that idea up, right? We can't have people questioning the foundation of this system, because then how else will the men keep control? So trans people can't exist in their world. They literally cannot exist. Except they do. Except they do. And they always have. And they always will.
Y'all want to know what I realized? Black people treat gays the way the world treat Black people. Let me say that again. Black people treat gays the way the world treats Black people. Let that sink in.
Maybe not what you should do, but definitely she would. If it were lyric.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Miss Lyric, and I'm back with my segment, If It Were Lyric, where I answer your advice questions about your relationships, your situationships, your friendships, and everything in between. Get into it. Now, if you want to continue sending me your advice questions, please do so by sending me an email at lyricbravado@gmail.com. Are y'all ready? Because I am.
I am. Well, I got one from Mia for you.
Okay.
All right, so Mia's right. She says, "Hey there, lyric girl. I love the personality in some of these letters, by the way, especially this week. I'm reaching out for some advice and a sprinkle of your renowned wisdom because I found myself in a situation. Picture this. My name is Mia, and I've been in a long-term relationship with my boyfriend. We'll call him Jamal, for about 4 years. We've shared countless laughs, adventures, and those deep late night talks that make you feel all warm and fuzzy. But here's the twist. I recently discovered that Jamal has been keeping some secrets from me about his past, including a complicated relationship with his ex that he never fully closed the door on. Now I'm left feeling a mix of confusion and frustration, and I'm not sure how to approach this. Should I confront him directly or play it cool and see if he opens up on his own? I want to understand where he's coming from, but I also don't want to dive headfirst into a relationship that might still have lingering attachments. If it were you, how would you handle this situation? I'm all ears for your thoughts and insights. Thanks for being the guiding light in this emotional maze. Much love, Mia.
Mia, it was very vague. How did you come across this said information? Did you go snooping? Did you hear something? Like, I need to know a little bit more information. It just all depends. It sounds like y'all have a good starting point. But it's not clear on what type of relationship you mean by open, like he didn't close it all the way. Do they have kids? Like what's the tea? I need a little bit more information before I can go into more detail. But what I will say is this. If you went snooping, girl, you might just have to eat that, because if you went snooping and he didn't tell you that information, he's gonna lose trust for you because you violated his privacy.
Oh no, Lyric, you don't think people need to be extra like cautious these days? I don't think so.
I mean, I can't really fully say what I would do, honestly, because I don't know the extent of what she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? It was very vague.
That is true.
So I need more information. If you snoop, hey. Listen, now if you hadn't snooped, you just heard it from somebody, you know, sometimes you really have to be cautious about who the messenger is and what their intent is, because a lot of people will see somebody happy in a relationship and want to shit on it.
What is that? Why do people do that?
I do not know why people do that type of shit. It happens all the time. The minute I get into a relationship or I broadcast that I'm happy in a relationship, here come the DMs, here come the hey big heads, hit text, and all that wild shit. Like, niggas lose their mind. It's like, oh, they don't want you while you're single. They want to see if they can grab you while you're in a relationship, and vice versa.
That's what Mike Jones was talking about. Back then, they ain't want me.
It's crazy. Why do people do that? Like, leave people alone. If you see they good, let them be good. But those type of things happen all the time. So I would be cautious. Take the information, if you got it from elsewhere, with a grain of salt, because it sounds like you have a good person. I mean, from what you've said earlier in your letter, it doesn't seem like you all have been back and forth in any like trauma type of thing. Y'all have a type of good relationship. Y'all get along. Y'all seem compatible. I would just take it with a grain of salt. If you want to write a part 2 and go into more depth, then I could further answer your question. But this isn't the type of thing that you can like have a conversation with if you were snooping. Okay. And then you don't even know like how they relate to each other in their relationship. It could also be possible that you're taking something out of context. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that could be a possibility. But girl, write me again and give me more tea, because I need, more information to further like assist you in this.
Yeah, Mia, we need part 2.
Yeah.
All
right. So let's see. All right. I have one from Lisa. Okay, Lisa, let's see what you got. All right. It says, Dear Lyric, I want to start saying I love my boyfriend and we don't have any conflicting viewpoints outside of this. So navigating such an important topic has been difficult. The earliest I imagine myself having kids is 27. I'm currently 22 and so is he. But my boyfriend thinks that within the next 2 years, we could be ready for kids. I don't know how that's even possible. He's not even in a place financially where he could support a family, and I'd be in law school. But he wants to have kids before he's in his late 20s, and it's kind of a non-negotiable for him. I'd also like to be married before I have children, and it feels like we'd be rushing these huge milestones to make space for a child. I've always wanted to be a mom, so I guess I don't mind having kids earlier than I planned. But what about my career? What about my start as a lawyer? But it also has me feeling so ridiculous having serious conversations about hypothetical situations. I feel rushed. So what should I do? Girl, don't have them kids. Don't have them kids. If it's a non-negotiable for him, non-negotiate a relationship with his ass. And think about you. Kids come with bills. Kids come first.
Kids
and your career, yeah, it can be done, but it's extremely hard. Why put yourself through that? Wait as long as you can and be financially responsible.
Thank God.
First of all, why is he 22 trying to have kids with you at 24? 2 years after what you said.
Hallelujah.
Not financially responsible. Didn't say nothing about marrying you and securing, any type of stability, which children do need. Let's talk about that. Y'all be skipping steps.
Oops.
Y'all be skipping steps, and I'm not saying
1, 2, 7,
but let's try to create a union and a space for where kids can thrive and be stable.
Yep.
Come on now. Listen, if it were me, I'd drop that motherfucker. You hear me? I'd be going to law school, handling my business, and putting my career first, so that if that time comes and I do find a man to marry and we have kids, guess what? Because of my law degree and all of the things that I have done and accomplished, I'll be able to provide for my kids and help.
Word.
And if that nigga get out of hand and start doing some crazy shit and I gotta raise these kids on my own, guess what? I secured my position. I'm good. Either way. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. Don't be having kids just to be having kids because that nigga said he wants to. Because guess what? As soon as you get barefoot and pregnant, he gonna be scrolling down his timeline, looking for the next one, and telling her the same thing. Wow. No. I call red flag. He's a walking red flag. You cannot be okay with this, Lisa. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Work.
Put yourself first. Have them kids later.
I love
That's what I would do if it were me.
Yes. Because that's all you can.
Because niggas will try to trap you and leave
absolutely.
You in a fucked up predicament and leave you high and dry. And then
but you know what?
Crying.
Niggas even people will play the family role, or they'll try to play the family role with, they'll go in trying to control shit. It's more of an ego thing for them. They don't want to actually raise a family, and that's something lacking too. You got to look at people for how and why they want to live.
Yeah.
What do you want to do while you're on this planet? What are you're talking about raising a family, bringing another human. Niggas say that shit now to be sad. Oh, I'm gonna put my babies in her.
No.
What do you mean?
And I feel like that's a sense of control too, because while you at home with the baby, he can go out and do whatever the fuck he want to do, whatever that is. Because you already said he's not financially stable. Girl, shit. Girl, you better take my advice. Leave that nigga where he at. Keep on trucking. But
love you lots, Lisa. Love you lots, Lisa. Hugs and kisses. XOXO.
Listen, I'm trying to advise y'all.
I love it.
Make good choices, okay?
That's not a good one.
Because that ain't it. But I love y'all. I thank y'all for sending me y'all advice questions. I enjoy reading them. I enjoy responding to them. And if you want to keep and continue to send them, please send them to my email at lyricbravado@gmail.com. And until next week, bye.
All right, so time to troll the timeline. There's some fuckery on this timeline this week. Them noodles are good, ain't they? She fucking them. She fucking these noodles up, y'all. She is fucking them noodles up.
I'm hungry.
It's fine.
Hungry.
We'll let her eat. We'll be right back.
We've heard a lot about the fact that Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not gonna stop talking about him. We're gonna keep talking about him until he is out of here. Now, if he wants to be elected or appointed and confirmed to something, then so be it. But as of right now, we have somebody that for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all just trying to play in our face because you think we're stupid, or if you literally just cannot see the difference in a George Soros and a Bill Gates. But let me give you a little bit of the difference. Number one, George Soros nor Bill Gates ever somehow decided to turn off the spigot of money that was going through to various organizations and agencies to the extent that it had actually been ordered by law that they should have access to it, to the extent that people are dying. There are people that have died as a result of this antic, and there are now farmers that are screaming that they may lose their family farms because we have over $500 million worth of food that is sitting and not going anywhere because of the attempt to shut down U.S. aid. So let me tell you, that is the big difference between the two of them. And let me also tell you that a big difference between Democrats and Republicans is that we don't just say we believe in the Constitution, but we walk it like we talk it. What does that mean? That means that if we believe in the Constitution, we don't just pick out the Second Amendment and say that it is limitless, nor do we pick out the First Amendment and say that it is limitless. The thing about the Constitution is that it has always been a balancing test. There are limits to this. And right now, what we continue to hear from a certain side of the aisle is that there are no limits to this lawlessness. In fact, there are limits. And I can tell you that one of those limits typically is around hate crimes. You may or may not know that when it comes down to it, if somebody decides that they want to send something hateful in, say, the U.S. mail, they can actually go to prison for that, up to 5 years in prison. So yes, there are always going to be limits. So when we start to talk about Trump and him being pulled down on any platform, this just happened to be after he incited an insurrection. This just happened to be after, in a bipartisan way, this particular chamber decided that they were going to impeach him. So there was something a little different about what he did, because as we know, it led to people actually dying. But let's talk about who's doing the nefarious things with the tech giants. Because I don't think that one side of the aisle is promoting truth, but sometimes it may seem a little treasonous. All right, so we've got this article right here about this guy. Meta says it will end its fact-checking program on social media posts. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Then we have Washington Post says it will not endorse a candidate for president. We also know that actually they absolutely intended to endorse Kamala Harris. We have this one. Google Maps now show Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico for app users in the United States, which is a complete farce because it's the Gulf of Mexico. It always has been. And we know that the AP got kicked out yesterday because they refused to buy into this lie, because that's all y'all really want to promote is lies. That's the big issue that we have. Elon Musk boosted false U.S. aid conspiracy theories to shut down global aid. Now, while he was boosting those lies about U.S. aid, and he was stopping money going for, say, things such as Head Start, somehow the only money that didn't stop was the money to him and his organization. Now, I don't know how you can have him be the watchdog as well as the guy that is literally living off of the government. If we want to talk about government welfare, it looks like Elon Musk, because it's my understanding that just on yesterday, a new contract was approved for approximately $300 million for Elon Musk. So listen, I just want y'all to be honest. You want to sit here, you want to lie, because so often we hear, well, you know, yeah, we did lie. In fact, he admitted that he lied when he was in the Oval Office yesterday. But if it's a lie that will get you into office, such as saying, I know nothing about Project 2025, yet on day one, you literally do everything that you can to implement it, including making sure that you put, say, one of the main architects of Project 2025 over the OMB, it's okay, so long as you get the power that you seek. The problem is that the game is going to be on the American people. And when I say the American people, I mean all of us. Unfortunately, I am also stuck in the twilight zone because of the lies that were allowed to be propagated. Just like when you're talking about vaccines and all this nonsense. Right now in my state of Texas, there is an outbreak of measles. And what they are finding is that because there's been so much disinformation about vaccines, that kids are sick right now with measles that they did not have to have if they just trusted doctors and experts instead of randoms online. So I will end by saying this, Mr. Chairman, because I know we believe in Jesus in this chamber. In John 8:32, it says, the truth shall set you free. So maybe we should focus on a little bit of truth in this chamber.
Time to troll.
It's time to troll, trolls. It has been a week in entertainment. Have you been keeping up with most stuff?
Some stuff. Some things caught my eye, some didn't.
This news cycle is so crazy that everything that should be amplified really isn't. It's so hard to pick a trending story because everything is happening all at once. Let's start up. Do we care? We don't. But Kanye and his new wife, they have no prenups.
They have no prenup.
They have no prenups, and they have divorce talk okay, let me just read the story. So it looks like this is not the story. This is me paraphrasing, but it looks like Kanye West and his new wife, Bianca Censori. How do you say that? Bianca Censori, or in my mind, when I read it, I've only read her name because I don't watch shit on TV. But anyways, they're making headlines again, and this time it's not for a new album. It's about the dreaded D word. Not dick. Not that word. Divorce. So, here's the scoop. Turns out that Kanye and her didn't bother with the prenup before tying the knot. That's I don't know. Going to a buffet, being I'll skip the plates. And anyways, they've reportedly called divorce lawyers and just a few weeks into their marriage, and they're already thinking about how to split the pie. Except in this case, it's probably a multi-million-dollar pie. So,
do I need to say this? I'm not surprised.
I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Shout out to Francesca Rossi for that gem because woo! Listen.
I can't even say I didn't see this coming. Come on come on now.
Kanye, the fall of Kanye.
It's sad.
Hey, you remember them damn White Lives Matter hoodies he had, him and Amber Rose?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just seeing this guy take L after L after L, or BL after L after L.
I don't know what's going on with him. I like the Kanye West that was during Hurricane Katrina and got his black ass on national TV and said Bush doesn't like black people. Where's that Kanye West at?
I don't know.
I like that Kanye West.
I do not like going down conspiracy theories, and I know that he's had a lot of trauma. He's had 2 divorces. He got babies out here.
Listen, the people saying he a clone, but
you will not start with these conspiracies.
Listen, the people said that he didn't got his mind fondled with. That's what they said. I mean, I didn't make this up, but
what you talking about? Some get out type shit? What you mean? Some get out type shit?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I heard, child.
No. Okay. What you got?
Well, Diddy's legal team has released a statement after attorney Tony Busby moved to voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit accusing the mogul and Jay-Z of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl in 2000. Which I'm not surprised. Listen, Jay-Z don't talk. He don't talk to us. He don't talk to the media. Really, he just be, silently making moves.
Like his wife.
Exactly. So for him to come out of the woodworks as soon as this shit popped off, I knew that nigga ain't do no shit like that.
Of course
this
not.
This nigga don't never talk. Never. He said, you got me fucked up. Listen, I'm going to defend my family. I'm going to defend these claims. I ain't do no wild shit, and y'all going to hear from me. And so he did. And now, as you can see, he dismissed these claims. And it's so sad, though, because this really takes away from people having real situations.
It really does. And, it goes as a bullying tactic with this overall climate. Everybody's trying to push a certain narrative if you really pay attention. And for somebody like Jay-Z to be directly connected to somebody who is an overwhelming influence right now and supported certain people in this 2024 election, it is, you'd be stupid not to connect those dots. Everything is playing out right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we ready to talk about Kendrick and the way he crip walked across the entire Super Bowl performance.
Can I just say black excellence, Kendrick? Can I really just please insert some type of applause right here, because baby, you deserve all the flowers, all the roses. You did what you needed to do at that Super Bowl.
You did.
First off, I feel sorry for you.
First off, let's just put this as a marker in our show's history about February 9th, 2025. First off, the artistry. Let's go. Kendrick didn't just come to perform. He came to make a statement. The symbolism on his set, it was layered, well crafted. He incorporated elements that celebrated Black culture while simultaneously critiquing the systemic bullshit that we have to still face. You know what I'm saying? From the powerful visuals to the choreography, every moment was intentional. It was like, for me, it was like a journey through the struggles and the triumphs of Black America, reminding us that our stories matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially in that moment, it's all about a spectacle. Now, let's not ignore the backlash, of course. So some folks were not here for Kendrick's unapologetic approach. And that's understandable in a country that still grapples with its racist past and present. But here's the thing. In 2025, as a Black gay man living in a society riddled with racist ads and discrimination, for me, I can say Kendrick's performance was not just necessary, it was vital. It was like a rallying cry for a community that often feels marginalized. It reminded me that we deserve to be seen. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to be celebrated in all our complexities. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, you look at today's political climate where Black voices are still fighting to break through the noise. And then you got Kendrick, whose artistry serves as both a mirror and a megaphone. This nigga is pushing us to confront uncomfortable truths while also uplifting our culture. So while some may squawk and complain about his boldness, I'm celebrating the fact that he's challenging the status quo.
What was your favorite part in that performance?
Well, I'm ratchet, so I cackled when he gave that little I eat shit grin at the camera. I was like, say Drake. I hear like I'm young. The way I hollered.
And
I screamed.
He had the crowd saying the A minor part as well. I heard it. It was loud, and
but you see, he didn't say it. Everybody, hold on.
Everybody else said it.
Did we deal with the amount can we deal with the amount of white people that I saw on TikTok that did not know what that song was about? And I'm just like, but there's lawsuits out about it. Drake got I don't even think Drake knew, because his lawsuits includes anti-Semitism. What was anti-Semitic about Not Like Us?
Nothing. But because he's
saying about Jews,
add that in.
Yes,
fuck out of my
not
face.
liking you. I'm allowed to not like you. But I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you're Jewish. What? And neither did Not Like Us. What are you doing? So
my favorite thing was when he had all those black men come out dressed in the colors of the flag. And when they made that flag, I understood what he meant by that. America was built on the backs of black people. And if y'all missed that while y'all talking shit all on Facebook, because a lot of you motherfuckers pissed me off after the fact.
Oh, I can only imagine what Facebook looked like.
How could you miss it? How could you miss it? How could that go over your head?
What are they saying on the Facebook? The Facebook.
Oh, that was whack. That was one of the worst performances ever. He could have did this. He could have did that. What was up with this part and him having them niggas whistling and shit? Did you not hear Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam?
Yeah.
Basically narrating what the rules of the game were when it comes to black people and how they should act in America and what they should do. Were y'all not listening?
Who didn't get that? Who didn't get that?
A lot of people. That's why I did it. I made a whole
I get why white people didn't get it. I do not understand the fact that anybody with melanin in their skin is somehow like thrown off by this. What do you mean?
Because y'all wanted to be entertained and y'all missed it. He didn't come to entertain you niggas. He came to educate you niggas.
That's Kendrick's vibe. That's who he is.
I seen so many people talk about, oh, where Lil Wayne? Oh, we wanted to see Cash Money. They in New Orleans. Okay, that's cool. That's great. But it'll come a time for them. Right now, in this very moment, people needed to see that black fucking message, period. And
they
he
did
what needed to be done. So
if
you missed it, I'm so sorry for you. But run the tape back, watch it again, and watch it with an open mind and understand that he was talking for you.
Do you mean to tell me people are arguing that it should have been Lil Wayne still? Lil Wayne that would have definitely came out and shouted out Donald Trump. Did y'all forget about the pardon? Did y'all forget he owes Trump? And have you not seen Trump going out here cashing in on everybody else's IOUs?
And that's what made it even better. Trump was in the audience, nigga.
That's what I'm saying.
When I tell you, I cackled at that. He did that shit on national TV in front of this man. Fuck you. I'm going to say this black message because you don't want it to be done, but there's nothing you can fucking do about it. And this is what it is. Baby, I'm proud.
Yes.
I'm proud of him.
Yes.
You did that, motherfucker. You did that.
It was more than just entertainment. It was necessary moment of reflection for Black America. And it's exactly what we need right now. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar Ducksworth. You did Decade Eye. And really that is why you are my fave. You and Beyonce are my faves. I mean, that's always been their vibe. Kendrick talks about his pen. He, that's who he calls his bitch, his pen. If you listen to his music, his music has always been about education. He's not talking about a whole bunch of hoes. Half of y'all that sat there and bopped your head to Mr. Morale never actually stopped to listen to what he said. Go back and listen to Mr. Morale and tell me that you don't understand what impact or where Kendrick comes from. Please. Speaking of other people, other Black people that whoop some ass, did you hear about what happened over in Lincoln Heights?
No.
I can tell you, this news cycle is so fast right now. You gonna miss certain shit. So, over the weekend, a neo-Nazi demonstration went down near the community over in Lincoln Heights. And it was just about as ugly as you might have thought it went. So these white folks rolled in, trying to spread their hate, thinking they could pull some intimidation tactics like in the 60s all over again. But then they showed up in Lincoln Heights, right? And Lincoln Heights said, oh, okay, cool. So according to the police body cam footage, things got tense. You had these hate-filled demonstrators trying to provoke the locals. They had flags out there and everything. Like, they hung a flag lyric, what I saw like on the news. They hung a flag over a bridge, and it was a Nazi flag. Had it out there. Niggas got word, right? Back to the story. People came out to show love and unity. I'm sorry, they like literally came out to show. Black people was like, oh, hell nah. So apparently they took the flag from them. They burned the flag. And yeah, it just served as a reminder that we ain't gonna let nobody come into our space. And so you hate. It's not gonna happen. It's not just about Lincoln Heights though. This is about the ongoing struggle against hate and bigotry everywhere. This is the world where we see our communities targeted by racists, by their ideology, by like this ideological bullshit. I don't know what it is, what's going on, but it's crucial that we stand up and make our voices heard. We've come too far, y'all, to let these white throwbacks dim our light. So,
speaking of bigotry,
okay.
The U.S. Army bars transgender people from enlisting and ends gender-affirming care services.
That was my news to make you nauseous. No, it's all good. Go ahead.
Well, this happened right after an executive order was signed by President Trump on January 27th. The order directed the Pentagon to determine a policy for transgender service members within 30 days. Trump's order stated that expressing a gender identity is inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with the soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life, and that those doing so cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military services. Unfortunate.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna say, because if you don't see it, I can't explain it. Like, it's right here in your face what he's doing. He's eliminating any and everybody that can stand in his way. If you don't see it, I can't explain it to you. Prove to me why I'm wrong. I'll tell you that. If you don't agree with me, prove to me why I'm wrong. And you can do that via email, WRTRradio@gmail.com. We can have a conference call. We can do whatever it is that you feel like you need to. But speaking of more hatred out of the White House, a friend of mine, Heather. Heather sent me, she sent me a screenshot of the white. Now, y'all know I'm not on Facebook. So because I'm not on Facebook, I can't see all the posts all the time. But she sent me a screenshot of the White House, and they shared this meme on Valentine's Day yesterday, where it said, I'm looking for the actual meme. This is on Heather. It says, "Roses are red, violets are blue. Come here illegally and we'll deport you." And it's a picture of Trump, and it's like pink, and it's got hearts swirling around. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like satirical wise, like funny. No, like I'm trying to make it. The only reason I chuckled at it is because it's so ridiculous that this would come out of the White House. This is like something that I would expect somebody like a teenager in high school to post, like with very radical or very right-wing kind of views. This is not something that I would think that would come out of an administration, even if you did not support it. Like, for example, historically, the church does not support the LGBTQ community, but they're not going to post something calling, being like, hey, fags, or something like that. They're not going to do it. So for this to come out of the White House on Valentine's Day is kind of like a joke, or kind of like just a dig at the very people that you're sitting here trying to like harm. And this came right after I watched a TikTok video where this young queer guy was just in tears, and maybe it was the cracking of his voice or the pain in his tears that I saw, where he was just crying that his mom just got deported. And I saw that, and then shortly after, Heather sent me that screenshot, and I'm just like, this is different than anything that I've felt before. Like, I felt it, but just maybe not to this magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
Just the overwhelming hatred. Like, this is evil. This is what evil feels like.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not surprised by it. And you said high school, but I wouldn't even say high school. There are grown people who would actually send that or post that.
Yeah,
you know,
and
I'm quite certain it was probably made by somebody. I mean, you said it came from the White House.
Yeah, the official the official White House Facebook account, and I had I put the write up together. It was off of, what is this, NBC News New York. So
that's like them saying roses are red, violets are black. If violets are whack. If you're doing something wrong, you're probably black, or some wild shit like that. That's the same.
Yeah, but see, that still you wouldn't have expected in 2025 for this kind of rhetoric to come from the White House. Like, you would expect it to come out of Trump's mouth. I would expect this to come across from Trump's accounts, like Truth Social, or even Elon Musk. I would expect to hear these kinds of things from them. But from a representative site that is supposed to, like, the White House is supposed to be representative of all of America, or at least the voice of all of America. Like, that's why they have briefings at the White House. That's why there's a press room in the White House. Yeah, so for this kind of hatred and shit to just spill out from these sources, this is bigger.
I mean, it's different now, though. They have Elon Musk, like, making freaking decisions about the American people. Like, come on now. He's not an elected official. And I said this last week. Who elected this man? Why is he able to have access to the American people's private information, financial stuff, and all of that stuff? Like, no. But this is the year of them thinking they can do whatever the fuck they want to and get away with it. And until the Democrats get through to the Republicans and get some assistance with this, which I actually do not see happening, only because a lot of them are probably scared that they'll be out of their position, and they're more concerned with that than actually doing the right thing and getting this crazy ass nigga out of the office. I mean, I don't know. He basically said this election was stolen in so many words, and said it in front of everyone. Elon Musk, a tech giant. He knows about computers.
Did you see his?
In Pennsylvania, this, that, and the third. Like, he basically said, like, this is what it is. This is what we did. Like, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Nobody. And okay, let's keep it a buck, y'all. But the ridiculousness of this whole situation is that it's not even a story. I'm pissed off about it, but that's not the story. Like, we're out here dealing with real issues like healthcare, education, the economy, and yet here we are, talking about memes and stuff because, like, this is the distraction. This is what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's a desperate attempt to distract us from the real problems while pushing hate. That's just what it is. Girl, did you see Elon's baby sitting there wiping boogers all over Trump's desk?
I sure did.
And then told him.
That's right, boo. That's right. Yeah, I was chanting, wipe some more boogers on there because that desk ain't worth shit right now. No fucking way. Yeah, wipe your ass on that joint if you want to, too. Yeah.
I know, but did you see where he told Trump, you're not the president anyway?
Because that's what he's hearing at home. That's what they're hearing at home. Yeah.
I'm glad you got TikTok again, because TikTok breaks the shit down for you. Niggas be like, oh shit, and you don't even realize. Do we care about anything else? Because I don't got nothing else.
Let's see. Let's end on a good note.
Okay.
Yes.
Try something different.
The Wayans family is set to be inducted into the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame.
Work.
Yeah.
I thought they would always be. I thought they already.
Niggas be late to shit. All right. In a statement, Derek Johnson, the NAACP president and CEO, said, for decades, the Wayans family has been at the forefront of comedy, breaking barriers and opening doors for waves of entertainers. Their trailblazing work in television, film, and stand-up has transcended pop culture and cemented their legacy. Recognizing their achievements with this induction is a celebration of a multi-generational legacy that continues to advance and uplift communities. And it's about time, too, because, listen, I've been watching them niggas since, damn, In Living Color.
Yep.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Like,
don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
All them movies, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Classic shit. It's about damn time. Blank Man, that was one of my favorite movies. You hear me?
And the thing is about the Wayans that I like is that their family is so talented in so many different ways, and they're like you got gays, you got trans, you got you got the talented, you got the actors, you got the business people. Like, it's a little bit of everybody in the Wayans, and they all celebrate one another. Yeah. And because they all celebrate one another, we all know who they are. See how that works? See how
it's so amazing that they kept their family unit so tight over all of these years, being in such a treacherous industry like the entertainment industry. They didn't let Hollywood get to them and break their family up and influence them in any way. They stayed a family, and I love it. I love it. So and they were able to have a legacy. Like right now, Wayne, I think which one is that? One of them has a show called Papa's House.
Talking about Sean?
No, not Sean.
Not Marlon, not shit.
The one
I'll look it up.
Who played in Major Pain.
Gotcha. Oh, Damon.
Yes, Damon and his son have their own series called Papa's House now.
Okay.
So it's cool to see that dynamic.
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay,
and I've seen the trailers.
Really good show too.
Awesome.
See that dynamic and see that legacy kind of being passed on and the torch being passed on. So like maybe him and his son will continue on the legacy and do stand up and keep the family name popping.
Somebody's got to,
lack of better words.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to them. That's a wonderful thing.
All right.
That's all I really cared about this week because I was busy, and besides Sexy Red doing ratchet shit, I really wasn't entertained by anything else.
Who?
Oh, yeah. That.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about that up next on Unseasoned Behavior. Be right back.
Let's be clear about what's happening right now in Washington, D.C. Elon Musk is the wealthiest guy in the world. He contributed $270 million to elect Donald Trump as president. Surprise, surprise. He is now having the most important job in the United States government. That's what happens when you make a huge campaign contribution. And by the way, Musk today is $150 billion wealthier than he was before Trump was elected. How's that? Not bad. Now, what Musk is trying to do right now is to destroy USAID, a program which helps hungry and sick children all over the world, the poorest people in the world. That's what the richest guy in the world is doing. Today, he's going after USAID. Trust me, tomorrow, he will be going after the programs that impact you and your family. That is Medicaid, that is Medicare, that is community health centers, that is education, that is Pell Grants, that is affordable housing. Together, we are going to stand up and fight back, get organized, and tell Trump that this country is a democracy. The government is supposed to work for all of us, not just the billionaire class. So stand up and fight back. We can do it. We can stop them. Thank you.
Marcus has your glimpse into a world without seasoning.
We back. So we've gotten questions, Lyric, asking what's wrong with Taylor Swift? What's wrong with Taylor Swift? And why I guess I don't necessarily care for her. So I thought I explained it a while back, but you know, the show is old and it's been off and on, and it was probably years ago in the archives we no longer have access to. So I'll try to explain it again. And just to be clear, when I say who, it's not only about Taylor, and it wasn't just her. When I say who or refuse to acknowledge a name, it's my personal way of saying, what is it that they do? And we're seeing this all play out now in the music industry, in politics, in our friendships, in our everyday lives. People are divided. And it's truly only the real niggas standing on business. Y'all talked about real niggas versus real niggas versus the rest of y'all. Y'all talked about this shit for years. And now we are truly seeing who is for us. Mm-hmm. And who use the culture to elevate themselves and themselves only. Snoop, Nelly, Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, now Boys to Men. You got Amber Rose, you got Kanye, Lil Wayne. The list is growing of these people that the black community, us, we put them niggas up on a pedestal for fame and fortune. It was our dollars, our fandom, our influence that amplified theirs, for them to only turn around and use that same influence to gas a movement meant to destroy the very culture that helped elevate them niggas in the first place. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's because I've done podcasting for so long that I see these stories and remember them a bit more than the average person that's, you know, allowed me to see through the facade. Or maybe it's just because I read and comprehend. Either way, it's this type of mentality that makes me not support certain people in the already oversaturated music industry. We're force-fed what is marketable and what's replicable. Heaven forbid that if certain stars in the industry drop dead tomorrow, but there would still be somebody in the works that they can mold to replace that sound. It's harder to do with black talent because we're all so very unique. We're diverse and our numbers are already low. Plus, we come into any space already knowing we have to be 20 times better than their best white to get a fraction of their attention. So we win by default, baby. It's that simple. Furthermore, everything has our fingerprint on it because we hand built all this shit. So half the time I say who, it's because I either honestly haven't heard of somebody or it's my fourth wall ignorance of commercialism. I interpret art. I don't just dance when I hear music. That's what Kendrick's song means. When I hear music, it makes me dance. I don't just fall out when somebody drops a larger name. Bitch, I already struggle with ADHD. So I'm not giving my already forced attention to anything that isn't benefiting the collective. So yeah, Taylor Swift. Taylor who? She used her influence in support of VP Harris. Excellent. Excellent start. I'll look forward to seeing what she does next. But y'all coons have got to go. The end. That's it. That's all. Second half of the show up next on WRTR Real Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
Okay, the wedding is officially over, and now we can talk about these special elections coming up and what you can do to help, even if you don't live in Florida or New York. Democrats can actually take back the House. And if Democrats take back the House, now Orange Boy can't get any more of his stupid shit passed. If you didn't know, there's 3 seats up for grabs between now and June. 2 that are in Florida, 1 that is in New York. But what does that mean for you if you don't live in either of those states? You can't vote to get those people in. Step 1, post about it. You need to reach as many Floridians and as many people in New York as possible. I don't care how small your platform is. Number 2, there's a young lady on this app by the name of Z Runs Campaigns. She's actually working with candidate Josh Wells out of Florida. She has a website that you can go to. I've put it in my link tree where you can help donate. On there, she has where you can text, you can make phone calls, or if you're actually in Florida, you can actually do canvassing. You may be thinking, I don't have money to donate to campaigns. Let me tell you something. You think you don't have money now? Let us not take control of that house. Things are only going to get worse. It takes a lot of people doing a little bit. Think about it. Just on TikTok, there was an older lady who needed her porch replaced. Some guy started a GoFundMe for her, got that done through TikTok. Little boys who were building a fort in the forest. That did not impact anything in our community. But look how much money they raised. And then some fool got their page taken down. But that's neither here nor there. Don't feel comfortable with going through a third-party person, you can go directly to the candidates' websites. I'll put those in the link tree as well. Step number 3, now reach out to people you actually know. In my opinion, we have to do something a little different than cold calling, right? When I looked at my contacts, I have about 2,000 people in my contacts. You got a message from me. They're more apt to pay attention. If I can get each one of them to give $1 to the campaign, that's $3,000. If I can get each one of them to give $5 to the campaign, that's $15,000. What if I wasn't the only person doing that? It's time to stop talking about it and be about it. You now have the opportunity. Or you could be a person that does nothing, but if they lose again, I don't want to hear your mouth.
Take us to work. Take us on the go. Take us wherever you go. WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Okay, so we back with the second half, and I am so sorry. I did forget something that I actually gave a shit about this week.
Go for it.
Let's talk about 2 black women standing on business. It's
2
Ray and Shonda Rhimes.
Yes, baby.
They decided to step back from the Kennedy Center after President Donald Trump became chairman of the board. Issa Rae had a show in DC at the Kennedy Center, and she writes, "Hey DC fam, thank you so much for selling out the Kennedy Center for an evening with me. Unfortunately, due to what I believe to be an infringement on the values of an institution that has faithfully celebrated artists of all backgrounds through all mediums, I've decided to cancel my appearance at this venue.
What?
Be funded. Thank you so much for understanding, and I hope to see you soon. Love, Issa." Shonda also said, "Fuck this shit," and resigned from the Kennedy Center board after Trump appointed himself to chairman. She says, "If art is to nourish the roots of our culture and society, must set the artist free to follow his vision wherever it takes him." And this is, of course, a quote from John F. Kennedy. She wasn't having it at all. Okay.
Listen, I've always stand for Issa. Like, and Shonda, like I didn't get too much into Shonda's stuff, but Issa has definitely caught my attention on everything that she does, everything that she has a hand in. It has always been dope. So, I mean, this is on brand. I'm not surprised by that.
I'm not either. And I knew she was special when she said at that one award show, I'm
rooting for black people. Yeah.
Period. I'm voting for everybody black.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
sis.
the step.
Yeah. Love that for you and us.
Well, I don't love hearing about, as we hinted on at the beginning of the show, have you heard about this panel of experts who's pushing for flu vaccines for kids under 5?
No.
And how this administration is making it harder for families to keep their little ones healthy. So we've got this advisory group recommending that children in this age group should get the flu shot, which is super important because let's face it, kids, little germs, they got their little germ factories. That's what they are. Protecting them from the flu isn't just about keeping them healthy. It's about safeguarding our entire community. And you have... Here's where it gets frustrating. This administration right now is making the whole vaccine conversation a heated mess. Instead of supporting public health initiatives, they're sowing doubt, they're sowing confusion, and it's downright harmful to our way of life. We're living in a time where misinformation spreads faster than a viral TikTok dance. And the last thing we need is for families to feel uncertain about getting their kids vaccinated. You got like outbreaks right now, measles and shit in Texas. You hear about that shit?
I did hear about that.
You got flus popping up. You got people getting sick, and you have this administration consistently cutting people out, forcing people into early retirement, firing others. And then you have people walking around, like in these red states, because this is Texas. You got people falling dead right in front of you, girl. And you like, ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't believe in the vaccine. It's all fake news. Like, are y'all okay?
Obviously not.
At some point, somebody has got to diagnose this. And I'm not talking about the flu. I'm talking about this mental crisis that is going on right now.
Yeah.
With the Caucasian community. And y'all are talking about white supremacy. What is supreme, first off? What's supreme about you? It's white inferiority trying to break out of whatever mental box it keeps you in from just being happy being yourself. Is it because you've appropriated so many other cultures that you've lost who you are? That you just don't know? Because see, we never lost it. And we're the only ones championing this shit right now.
What is white culture, though?
It's literally taken from everywhere else. And that's all it is. And now it's amplified. Like, they get it. But then there's this very small group, mind you, people, very small group that is trying to oppress the rest of us with money, pieces of paper with dead bureaucrats on it. And they are trying to take your sense of livelihood, your safety. That's what this administration is pushing, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. It's chaotic. It's counterproductive. We need leaders who understand the importance of science and public health. Not ones who are playing politics with kids' lives. People push for clarity, education, access to vaccines. Every child deserves a healthy start in life. Every single one. At the end of the day, protecting the children, your children, should be your top priority. And we can't let this nonsense derail that mission.
Listen, I'm letting it be known. I'm not getting no type of shot. I'm not letting my kids get no type of shot. I didn't get the COVID shot, and look what happened. I'm not judging those who decided to do so, but I find it very funny how a whole bunch of bullshit happened after people who decided to get that jab. And want to say,
I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this newfangled stuff. I'm talking about like childhood vaccine, polio.
Yeah, but you know that was a thing too, that they was trying to make it so if I know my son had to get it or he couldn't go to college, they wouldn't let him back on the campus. Mm-hmm. They were making kids get that shit to even come back to school. So, and then right after you made these kids, these elementary school kids, middle school kids, you got a kid having soccer practice or football practice, dying of a heart attack on the field. Mm-hmm. Healthy child. And nothing extra happened in his life with the COVID shot. I'm just saying, I'm not doing
that. The whole COVID thing is strange to me. And I mean, again, I'll reference Kendrick's track. He was like, I'm doing what COVID did. They'll never get over it. Like, it's what? It's true. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of bullshit that happened during COVID, leading up to it, and afterwards, even with the vaccines. So it's not non-trackable where this sudden surge of misinformation, disinformation, and no information came from. Like, that's very clear to me. Mm-hmm. But something, I don't know if it has to be something collective or what, but there has to be a collective effort to understand across the board how shit works. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that people do. That's how we got here. That's why you have freaking children on TV running circles around adults in conversations about politics. Because they read. Mm-hmm. Wi-Fi's. Like, why? Y'all getting on my goddamn nerves in this world. We'll be right back.
The first person in America to have their gender marker changed to an X has now been found dead by apparent suicide in a VA parking garage. Elisa Ray Shoup was a non-binary veteran who was found hanging from a VA parking garage wrapped in a transgender flag. They sent their suicide note to several news outlets and nobody reported it. To this day, there are only 3 articles referencing their death, one announcing the death of a veteran in a VA hospital and 2 other ones actually acknowledging Elisa for who they were. Thanks to those 2 independent journalists, their note has now been made public, and I'm going to read it as follows. This is the message from Elisa Ray Shoup, the first person to obtain a non-binary gender transition to the Trump administration. Fuck you, America. I don't want your hatred. I don't want military decorations and medals you awarded me. I don't want your pension money for my distinguished military service and service-connected disabilities. I don't want your health care to treat the mental illnesses you caused. I don't want more psychiatric ward commitments to keep me alive in a nation that I despise. I don't want to be buried in any of your state or national cemeteries for veterans and military retirees. I don't want to be buried anywhere on American soil. I don't want any military honors or ceremonies to mark my death. I don't want my ashes to be stored on American soil. I want my ashes or remains to be spread or buried in international waters. I don't want your flag anywhere near my body, remains, or ashes. I don't want any members of my family other than my spouse to be on the vessel that disposes of my ashes or remains. My death is not a surrender. My death as a member of the third gender and transgender population does not mean you won. It solely marks the end of our association. You are not the land of the free. You are not a country getting made great again. Too much demonstrated hatred through your existence extinguishes any claim to previous greatness. You are a cesspool of zealots that worship a god that does not and has not ever existed. Enjoy your new royal family and third world dictator. I refuse to participate any further. Have that Nazi piece of shit Elon Musk and his Doge henchmen deduct from my savings $93,000 of federal pensions for your bankrupt coffers. The white man decimated and massacred the indigenous populations of the third gender on the lands now called America. It was only fitting that a white person restored it. You cannot erase non-binary and transgender people because you give birth to more of us each day. My death is not a surrender. You cannot erase non-binary or transgender people because you give birth to more of us every single day. Those are just some of the powerful words that Elisa Shoup left us to remember them by. Elisa was a trailblazer and a historical figure not only to the non-binary community, but the transgender community and queer community as a whole, and yet I've seen zero coverage of their death. This happened last month on January 27th. Elisa was a complicated person, and it took them some time to come to terms with themselves. And yet, like I said, they are a trailblazer not only to the non-binary community, but to the entire transgender community. I ask that in Elisa's memory, you not only share this video, but consider creating your own and posting it as far and as wide as you can. Do not let Elisa's memory be lost. Keep Elisa's name, memory, and sacrifice alive, not only by sharing their name, not only by sharing their story, but by reaching out to your non-binary friends and family as well. Reach out to your transgender friends, your non-binary friends, you guys. Make sure we're doing okay, and make sure to remember that we need each other. We need community, you guys. We can't let this keep happening. We can't keep losing these historical figures. Rest in power, Elisa, and thank you for your sacrifice.
Why do you have roaches?
The Why File.
Why do my children hate me?
On WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Why did my vagina burn?
The truth is out there.
Explaining the unexplained, we're answering why to the questions you want to know by taking your skeets at WRTR Radio on Blue Sky. And we're taking your emails over at WRTRradio@gmail.com. This is the Y-Files. Remember, the truth is out there. All right, Shell from Dallas wants to know. She said, since it's around Valentine's Day, I thought this one would be a fun thing for y'all to talk about. Why are people still out here searching for love in 2025? Are they crazy? You can't trust nobody.
Because the dating pool got, say it with me,
P
in it.
P. It's yellow. Oh, Shell. It's because people want to be happy, my dear. That's why. People just want to be happy. Have you looked around outside? It sucks. When you can't breathe the air, you just want to hunch on somebody. But then you can't hunch on somebody because then you might start itching. And then if you don't start itching, then you might start coughing. So sometimes you want a little love, just to have somebody around you. But then when you get them around you, then you got to check and make sure that they ain't gone through your purse or your wallet. And then if you ain't got to make sure of that, then you got to make sure they ain't in your kitchen trying to eat up all your food, just being a hobo here and there and everywhere. Like, there's a lot that people going through right now, Shell. It's a lot, dear. People out here, they just want to live. That's all. Let them have a little love. Yeah, they're crazy. Everybody's a little crazy right now. But that don't mean you can't have somebody monogamous that you want to hunch on every now and again. God damn. Let them be great. Why? Because your bitter ass is out there. That's why. No, I'm just playing myself.
Oh,
that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
I appreciate that one. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Mine comes from me because I'm actually a little bit upset about this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't get it.
Oh hell! I never know where you go with.
Why did they decide to close down the Long John Silver's here in Forestville? I'm so mad about it.
My sister sent me a screenshot of it, right? My sister sent me a screenshot of it, and I was like, ooh, did you check on Mom? She okay? Because listen, that Long John Silver's is like one of the last, I think, anywhere close to PG or Charles County for y'all in your area. Now there's 2 or 3 of them up here in Baltimore with me, but I'm not driving from Baltimore to where my family lives smelling like fish heads, so I don't know what to tell y'all.
I'm very upset because I've been saying for the last couple weeks, oh, I want to go to Long John Silver's. Oh, I want to go to Long John Silver's, and just never made a way to it because I've been having shit to do, you know? And they closed. And I'm like, I know you fucking lying. Not only that, why is that owner selling Auntie Anne's pretzels?
Are you serious? I didn't know that. Oh wow, it's the same. Wait,
selling it for $85,000 on Facebook Marketplace.
Nuh-uh.
I swear.
Selling the whole franchise, like the
yes.
Damn.
He's trying to sell it to somebody.
Oh, wait, did you say Iverson Mall? You said you said Iverson Mall?
Yeah.
You could buy Iverson Mall for $85K. What do you mean?
Because sometimes I did like to go there for the pretzels because the closest other one is like Taggart's Outlet or something, and I don't want to drive all the way over there.
My goodness.
And they closed the Cinnabon down. That's been there for years and years and years in PG Plaza Mall. That's got everybody pissed off and upset. So y'all, what's up with y'all? Like closing down these places that we like, taking it away from us.
Can't nobody afford it no more, and it's going to be more of our favorite things going away as if this administration is allowed to continue its reign of terror.
Man, please don't bother my Red Bulls. I will have a
no wings. That's what you will have. You will be wingless. That's what.
Listen, I will have a fit if y'all decide to fuck with my Red Bulls. Like, we're gonna have a problem.
Well, why Lyric ain't got no Red Bulls? Because Donald Trump is out there. And that wraps it up for this week's Why Files. Always answering why for you on the socials and at WRTRradio@gmail.com. News Making Nauseous up next. Be right back.
Hey gays, y'all gotta stop being disrespectful to each other. All gay boys don't want to be called sister, daughter, niece. If you want respect, you gotta give respect. How you just gonna take that man dick and throw it away? He want it. Just because his voice is soft and he switch harder than a Victoria's Secret model, that's okay. He's still Mr. Bernadette. Y'all can't be out here just taking people's dicks and balling them up and throwing them in the trash and say, yeah, you a girl now. It don't work like that. Y'all be the main ones out here talking about pronouns. Respect other people if you want them to respect what you want to be called. Just because you think things look a certain way don't mean it is what you think it is. Because this ain't Duce, bitch. This Turkey Hill.
This message is for the 80% of black men and 92% of black women that sit on business during the election. It may also include those who are true allies to the black community. If that does not include you, please keep moving. Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, Soulja Boy. Need I say more? We have until end of day today to make it happen on all platforms. Make it abundantly clear that aligning with known races is an unforgivable offense.
And now,
Say what?
News to make you nauseous on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Let's go.
These are some of the stories you might not read about in any of the publications because, well, information is suppressed these days and it sucks to be here. But this is News to Make You Nauseous. Go ahead, Miss Lyric, what you got?
Well, I think I did one on Detroit last week, but again, hey, say what, Detroit?
Say what?
A father of 2 homeless children died from hypothermia, claims the mother did ask for help, but she never specified that they were homeless. All right. The father of 2 who unfortunately the father of 2 children who unfortunately passed away due to homelessness is speaking out about the tragedy. Darnell Curry Sr. claims that even though he and the children's mother, I don't know how you say her name, so I'm gonna just call her Tata Williams because the spelling is crazy.
Yeah, but Tata, ain't that titties? Wait, what's happening?
Tati.
Okay, well, that's better.
Whatever.
Tati and titty, great.
The girl who lost her kid, the lady who lost her kids, because I can't say her name.
I got you.
If he says that they weren't close, but if she would have admitted to being homeless, he would have helped her. During the interview with WXYZ, really? That's what y'all named y'all shit? Anyway, Curry recalls when Williams first called him about his children passing away. He said, I went to the gym. As soon as I got on a treadmill, she called saying, can I make it to the hospital right now? They're gone, said Curry. I was hoping it was a sick joke, but it wasn't. In her interview, however, a day prior, Williams claimed that she reached out for Curry to pick up his kids to give her some relief, but he didn't do it. Curry says that she did call him to ask him to get them, but she didn't specify that she was homeless because if she did, he would have stepped up. All she said was, can I get them? Can I get them? Just get them. Can I get them? Because, hold on. Can I get them just to get them? And can I get them because y'all homeless? That's 2 different things, said Curry. She ain't ever said nothing to me. Nothing. So all them sob stories, they can cut all that. No, she did not. She just asked, can I get them for a couple days? But I told her I'm working and all that, and I'm out here. We're not close to each other, so I couldn't, but she knows all my family is right around the corner from her. With Curry's family reportedly living close to Williams, he expected her to possibly try to reach out to his family, but according to Curry, she didn't. Now he has a void in his heart that he believes he will never hear from. Can I just say I call bullshit?
Why is that?
I do not know that your baby mother and your kids is homeless. That means you wasn't seeing them like you were supposed to any motherfucking way. Is it just me?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's
bullshit. I call bullshit. And plus I saw an interview where she said she let him know, I'm homeless. I have your kids with me. She said I asked for help from him and his family and was turned away.
The fact that we even live in a world where that's possible is telling. A woman with children. Wow. And then her fuck ass baby father is sitting here. I ain't know.
I'm at the gym.
I ain't know
that your kids was gone.
She ain't tell me.
You was not in them baby's life like that. If you was, there's no way possible that you didn't know that they was homeless. Come on now. Be for real.
She ain't tell me. I ain't know.
I mean, that's two totally different things. You were not around. You weren't around.
Do better. Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna say New Jersey, but it didn't happen in New Jersey. This is from a woman in New Jersey. So, say what, New Jersey niggas?
Say what?
So, a New Jersey mother of 3 was crushed to death by a hippopotamus. Sorry. See, I've been playing Pokemon too long. I was about to say hippopotamus because that's damn Pokemon. A hippopotamus on an African safari, according to a lawsuit by her widower, blaming the U.S.-based tour operator for failing to warn of the danger.
What?
So the lawsuit says, since you took my story, I'm kind of reading this as I'm going. So excuse me if I laugh inappropriately at certain things. All right.
Oh. Okay,
go ahead. The lawsuit says that he had his wife and they went on a bushwalk tour. It's called a bushwalk with tour guides during their 10-day tour in Zambia last May when a hippo partially submerged in a river. Suddenly, quote, suddenly and without warning lifted its head and charged from the water, end quote. The woman tried to flee, but, quote, was unable to escape. The hippopotamus violently attacked her, end quote. And the armed guides fled and her husband watched helplessly, the lawsuit says. Now, the hippo grabbed her with its mouth, the lawsuit continued, quote, lifting her off the ground, shaking her entire body, and crushing her head and body with its bite, end quote. The woman suffered, quote, catastrophic injuries, end quote, and died shortly after, her husband said. Now, her widower is suing Connecticut-based tour operator African Portfolio, accusing it of negligence for not warning them of the potential danger of the wild animals that typically weigh up to 3,000 pounds. This is nauseating for a number of reasons. Oh my God, are you turning red? Are you okay?
I'm good. Go ahead.
See, you're making me laugh. So, here's the thing. I'm nauseated. Yes, this woman lost her life, and that is nothing to laugh about. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at. So we went on a tour, right? A tour called a bushwalk, and you are now suing this company that I'm sure had you sign disclaimers before you went, but. Even so, let's say they didn't. And you were out there and you went on this, again, bushwalk, right? And you are then surprised that something then emerged from the bushes and out of the water and charged you. And you are again, very tragic. Bro, shout out. My heart goes out to you that your wife passed away that way. I can't imagine. But girl,
I am so done when you said the people who was running the tour ran.
Oh yeah, them niggas ran.
What the fuck?
Because even listen, okay, so if I'm never, if I ever in danger of this, never is this going to be my narrative of where I'm on something called a bushwalk and a hippo, like a hippopotamus. I avoid them niggas in the video game. Listen, they charge you. So no. We put ourselves in listen, the one risky thing I did my whole life was jump out of a plane.
Man,
and y'all that follow me on TikTok, you can see that. You can go back and watch that video, but that is the one thing that I did. And I think I just had this conversation with my mother and my sister. I knew one of two things were going to happen. I was either going to land with that parachute safely on the ground, or I was not coming back. But I knew that when I then signed that disclaimer, because I knew that it was called skydiving. I was diving out of the sky, right?
Out of
it was right there in the name. It was
There's
there.
risk with
it
that.
was right there. So I knew if I went splat, that was like one of the things that could happen. So that my niggas and stuff at home ain't sitting there like, oh, we about to get some money because I chose to dive out of the sky, just like you chose to walk near the bushes with hippos in it. There are so many different ways you can learn about the world around you to where you do not have to then put your life in direct danger. I do not understand why we continue to do these things when we know better.
And then I'm surprised about it.
And sue. And you want to sue
That's
niggas.
like you breaking into a lion's like a lion's cage in the zoo in the middle of the night and not expecting that motherfucker to eat your motherfucking ass from the root to it. Like you're in their territory. What did you think was gonna happen, bro?
Bushwalk.
And I was not laughing at that lady's death because don't y'all come fucking for me.
Mm-mm.
I'm laughing at the fact that the guides that were supposed to be there, how come you're not equipped with certain things like tranquilizers?
Oh no, they said the armed guards. It says the armed guards ran. They said, okay, the hippo grabbed her by her mouth, lifted her off the ground, shaking her entire body.
I can't.
Hold on. The woman tries to flee. As the armed guides fled and her husband watched helplessly. First off, the arm.
So y'all had weaponry and y'all said, fuck this shit, we out. I could see a lawsuit for that because, I mean, come on now. Y'all left them people defenseless and y'all could have helped. Y'all did nothing. Y'all said, fight or flight? Bitch, we taking a flight first class. What you mean? We're out of here, bitch. Fend for yourself.
Know what? You are right. I'm not going to victim blame because that woman is not here to defend herself. I will just say that was an interesting story.
That is crazy.
It's just something about being in these safari type places where my black ass already know I don't really need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then
There's
being
a couple
surprised.
things I would never do. I'm not going to scuba dive because I did like a slight experience when I was young. We ain't going to talk about how I almost drowned at Disney World.
Oh my God.
What? Happened. So I'll never do that again. I'm not trying to be one with no sharks. No dolphins. I'm not doing any of that. I'm
Oh
not
no, I'm never in
skydiving.
danger
I'm
of
not
that.
bungee jumping. I'm not jumping off of no high cliffs into no big areas of water. I'm not doing any of that. So why? Because I value my life. Anything can happen. It would be my first time. Like, hey, I had a surgery, my first surgery I've ever had in life, and shit went fucking left. It'll be just my luck. I decide to do something daring and end up
it goes left.
high-fiving with the angels. No, thank you. I'm not going on no safaris because just my luck. It'll be a drought.
But see,
and
even
a pack of lions come out of nowhere. No.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get there. See, I love doing like adventurous stuff when I was adventurous age. See, I'm in my mid-40s now. I don't do adventurous stuff anymore. I sit my ass down. Adventure to me is staying up past 9:30 now. That's an adventure. Because let me tell you something. That shit hard as fuck these days. If you want these and more nauseating news stories, hey, give us some followers. I need followers over on our Blue Sky at WRTR Radio. I'm over there also. I need followers at MARCUSSMOOT. That's Marcus Smoot on Blue Sky.
And y'all can
and on
find me
TikTok.
on my social media platforms, which is TikTok. Yes, I'm back, bitches. Yes, so happy about it. Still on Facebook and Instagram for the time being because my whole life is on there. My kids' photographs and baby pictures and all that type of shit. I mean, that is the only reason why, because they have memories.
Yep.
And I'm not deleting none of my baby's baby pictures. So, but y'all can find me on there. Don't get inappropriate with me because I host daily block parties, baby.
I hear you.
Blocked a couple people yesterday on Valentine's Day. So what?
Love you, mean it.
But yeah, y'all can find me on that at Live Bravado.
Okay. We're talking real talk next. Planning ahead. That's what we're talking about. We'll be right back.
On your first day in law school, in constitutional law, the very first day, they explain to you that the federal courts determine what is constitutional, not the Congress, not the president. Now, the president this week and Elon Musk and J.D. Vance, they're very unhappy that that's the way our founding fathers constructed the Constitution. And so on birthright citizenship, they've now been blocked. On freezing all federal funds, they've now been blocked. On cutting NIH funding, they've been blocked. On getting into all of the information about every American at the Department of Treasury, violating privacy rights of all Americans, they've been blocked. So they're very unhappy. But they're unhappy because they don't like the Constitution. They don't like the checks and balances. They don't like the system that was constructed to make sure that we did not have a king. We did not have a dictator. But we had, in fact, a system that ensured that all of these constitutional rights would be protected. And so right now, they're stymied for the time being, but ultimately we know what the plot is. The plot is to get into Medicare, to get into Medicaid, to get into all of the Department of Education funding programs, to get into clean air, to get into clean water. And why? To find the hundreds of billions of dollars in order to have the tax breaks for the millionaires and billionaires. So they're right now frustrated by the courts, who are saying, no, there are safeguards, there are procedures, there are laws on the books that have been passed by Congress and signed by presidents that block you from doing this, Mr. President. And they're very unhappy, but they're only unhappy because the United States Constitution is blocking them from doing what is illegal and unconstitutional.
Keeping it 100. It's Real Talk. On WRTR Real Talk Radio. We keep it real.
All right. So we're back. And let's have a serious conversation, people. It's time to plan. And I'm not just talking about just surface level planning. Hey, this, that, and a third. Let's get a protest. Let's this, that, and a third. All of that, still continue to do those things. We still need those things. When I say planning, I mean really getting a plan together for you and your loved ones. I look around at so many things being dismantled so swiftly, I look around at people being forced out of their jobs either by executive order or by moral, their moral obligations to themselves and the people that they serve. And this is more like, this isn't just about people and their jobs. This is about humanity. And people have moral obligations. And they have morals. And a lot of people are very passionate about the things that they do. So to see so many people having to draw that very strong line, you're talking about career professionals in the past week that have had to leave their jobs because of moral reasons. That makes this bigger than just the average threat, because they are feeling so like they feel like there's no other out other than to either compromise their moral standing or to leave where they are. And that says so much about the world around us. So it's not a thing of just moving and being able to bob and weave. We're really good at that as Black people, to bob and weave. But for some of us, we need to work on our planning aspect. Have a plan in motion in case you need to get up out this bitch.
Yeah.
Talking over plans with my family this coming week, and what we're going to do. It's time to have very serious conversations. And unfortunately, there are a lot in our community that are either misinformed or uninformed about the magnitude of what's happening. And you're going to have a lot of people that are caught off guard as though they just found out that their baby mama and children were homeless. I ain't know. You're going to have those type of people being affected mostly by the coming storms. Now, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen from day to day. But I do know that there's a lot coming for us. And I do know that at the very least, we need to have a plan.
I agree.
Whatever that looks like for you as an individual. And I'm talking about safe places. Right now, I would, passports. I would talk about safe places. I would talk about
provisions.
There's just so much. It's a lot to unpack, but this is the time to do so. Get that worksheet down. Start talking.
Anytime I see a video of anybody military saying, y'all need to go get this, that, and the third, and just prepare yourself, I'm going to start thinking about things that I need. Batteries, store up on water, get those ready-made meals or whatever, the little camping meal things, and store them up. And get at least 3 to 6 months worth. Like, somebody knows something. These are things that you don't need to ignore. And a lot of people tend to say, people are making videos like that for fear mongering and this, that, and the third. Sometimes people are really actually trying to do good work and spread like the knowledge of what's to come.
And not only that, but it's more important to just look around. You make a point. You make a good point that, sometimes it is fear mongering, but why wouldn't you want to be prepared? Have you seen how things are playing out? So would you rather be prepared in the event that it doesn't happen, or unprepared and then it happens and you SOL?
Well, I've noticed that a lot of people like to be blissful in their ignorance and pretend that nothing's going on. It makes them feel safe, and not have to worry about everything every 5 minutes. And some people will see that things are being talked about and things are happening around them and still put themselves in a little bubble of ignorance, and just tend to just live life as they want to see, as they want to live it, like nothing's going on.
It's safe.
And it's not ideal in this time that we're living in. You really have to wake up and see what's going on and what these policies mean for our future. It's damaging. They cut Social Security. All you people who have worked since you were 14, 15 years old, and now you going to retire and you ain't got shit to show for nothing because they didn't cut that shit. Y'all got to think about stuff when you go out and vote. All of these things matter, and really pay attention. Don't ride this train of, I'm going to go for whoever's popular and whoever's talking shit about the Democratic Party, because I might not have researched it, but they're saying some shit that I like if you're into the bigotry shit or you just want to be a troll. Like, no. Really research and know like what's going to affect you on the long run. You got to look at the big picture, and not a lot of people did that. Obviously
92% of black women did. 80-something% of black men did.
Well, the Hispanic vote proves otherwise, because he literally told y'all what he planned on doing, and y'all still said, you know what, I got faith in this man. He's gonna make a difference for us. And the only difference he made is you're not going to be with your family, or you going to be sent to a country that you've never even been in because you don't have certain paperwork, because ICE then came in your place of business or your home and gathered your ass and put you in the back of a van and shipped you off somewhere where you have no idea of what's going on. It's the most barbaric shit I've ever seen. But this is what's going on because this is what you all voted for. So now we all have to suffer behind the shit.
It's strange. I started this show 12 years ago, and our first real talk topic was booty call etiquette. How to conduct yourself properly and the things not to do during the booty call. And I remember Honeybee told us all this. It was like one of the most popular shows that we'd ever had. But she told us that she told us about basically this situation that landed her in the hospital during one of those. But I look at the fun and the hilariousness of that time and that tone of real talk to now having to tell people that look like me to protect themselves. Mm-hmm. And to look out for their neighbors and to really just plan for like what our generation, has seen as the big one. Mm-hmm. So it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's empowering because we're not all gonna make it out.
Yeah,
but we always have these times, and I love y'all. But we gonna move forward and hopefully be back next week. Miss Lyric, got any final words?
I'm gonna say what I said last week. Make good decisions this week, especially you, Lisa. Make good decisions, girl, because don't get pregnant this week.
Avoid things called bushwalks. That could apply for you too, Lisa.
Indeed. Yeah, just make good decisions and be informed and educate yourself and do right by the person next to you. Treat people with kindness and all that good shit.
All right. God willing, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for rolling out with us here on WRTR.
Bye.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show featured work from TikTok creators D.Onyx, Metamama, The Real Josh B _ For the People by the People, Bernie Sanders, Navigating Gray, Good for My Soul, I Am Lonnie B, and MSNBC. In times like these, we're using our platform to amplify your voices.